Good day, everyone. This is our part 2 of our lesson discussion about the conic section circles. On this part of video lesson, we will study still the standard equation and the different properties of the circle. We have learned in the previous examples how to determine the equation of a circle given its center and radius. But what if we reverse the process? What do I mean when we reverse the process? This time, the equation is given, but we will find for the coordinates of the circle, center, and the length of the radius. There are few steps to remember. The first one is to solve for the value of h. By equating the quantity of x minus h is equal squared to its corresponding binomial in the given equation. The second step is the same process, but this time we will solve for the value of k by equating y minus k quantity squared to its corresponding binomial in the given equation. And lastly, solve for the value of r by equating r squared to its corresponding constant in the given equation. So let us get started for the first example. Let us find the center and the radius of the circle, whose equation is quantity of x minus 10 squared plus quantity of y plus 8 squared is equal to 49. Let us equate first the given equation in the format of our standard equation. We have the format of x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared. Remember, our equation is x minus h squared is equal to x minus 10 squared. I will write our equation in number 1 here. X minus 10 quantity squared plus y plus 8 quantity squared is equal to 49. So we'll now solve for the value of our h. As we can see here, we have both squared or exponent of 2 with the power of 2 on our left side and right side. We need to solve for the value of our h. Then, to remove the exponent, get the square root of the left side and right side of our equation. We can now cancel the exponent and the radical symbol, and we will have the remaining x minus h is equal to x minus 10. We can now cancel out the variable x, or you can transpose the variable x from the left side to the right side. So we will have the remaining negative h is equal to x. So you will move this variable x to the right side. It will become minus x minus 10, and then cancel out x minus x is equal to 0. We will have negative h is equal to negative 10. Again, we still have negative 1 in front of h. We can multiply both sides of our equation to negative 1. And you will have negative 1 times negative h is h. Doing the same with the right side, negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10. And therefore, this is the value of our h. Doing the same process with the value of our k, we will equate y minus k quantity squared is equal to y plus 8 quantity squared. And then, getting the square root of both sides, cancel out the radical symbol and the exponent. The remaining terms are y minus k is equal to y plus 8. Doing the same process with the value of h, I will transpose the value of the variable y to the right side. So it will become negative k is equal to y minus y plus 8. And therefore, we can cancel out y minus y, that is 0, and negative k is equal to 8. But this time, meron pa ring negative si k in front, so multiply both sides by negative 1. Therefore, k is equal to negative 8. And this is the value of your k. We already have the coordinates of our center. And the coordinates of the center are, or is, 10, negative 8 for the center. But still, we have to solve for the value of our radius, or the length of our radius. As we all know, r squared is equal to 9. Then remove the exponent of r by getting the square root of our both sides of the equation. Then cancel out the squared and the radical symbol. And r is equal to 7. According to Sir Pasordosa, on our discussions, when we get a radical or the square root of a number, and if it is a perfect square, the answer is always positive and negative. But remember, when we are talking about radius, it is only a positive value of a number because there's no such thing as a negative distance. We cannot run negative 100 kilometers. There are no negative 1,000 miles, right? So, when we are talking about certain units such as radius, your answer should be positive always. Okay? So, for the value of our radius, it is r is equal to 7 units. So let us proceed for another example. Number 2. Find the center and the radius of the circle whose equation is x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 5 quantity squared is equal to 20. Writing the equation, we have x plus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 5 quantity squared is equal to 20. Write your format on the right side. X minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared. So if you're still having trouble in finding the value of h and k, you can still write the format of the standard equation on the right side of your screen, of your paper, or anything that you write or you solve on, right? So let us solve for the value of h. Again, x minus h should be formatted. Quantity squared is equal to x plus 1 quantity squared. Get the square root of both sides of our equation to remove the exponents. Cancel out the exponent and the radical symbol. We have x minus h is equal to x plus 1. Again, same process. Transpose the variable x from the left side to the right side. We will have negative h is equal to x minus the variable x from the left side. So, transpose becomes negative plus 1. And then, 0 na po yung x minus x. We have negative h is equal to positive 1. And then, multiply both sides by negative 1 to remove the negative sign for the variable h. And then, h is equal to negative 1. Continuing the process, y minus k quantity squared is equal to y minus 5 quantity squared. Get the square root of both sides. Cancel out the radical symbol and the exponent. We have y minus k is equal to y minus 5. Transpose y to the right side. From the left, we will have negative k is equal to y minus y plus 5, minus 5. So, cancel out y minus y. Negative k is equal to negative 5. Again, multiply both sides by negative 1 and you will have k is equal to positive 5. So, we have already the coordinates of our center, which is negative 1 and positive 5. We'll now solve for the value of our radius or the length of our radius. So, r squared is equal to 20. Same process, get the square root to remove the exponent, cancel out the exponent, and your r is equal to square root of 20. But remember, square root of 20 is not yet the final answer. So the final answer, you will think of a factor. You can use your calculators or you can solve this manually since you have tackled already how to simplify the radical of a certain numbers or during your grade 9. So the square root of 20 has a factors of 4 and 5 and square root of 4 is 2. So R here is 2 square root of 5 or you can write it in decimal format. I will allow to write your answers or solve your answers or have a final answers in decimal format or in radical format. But we can write here 2 square root of 5 as your radius. Don't forget the term units. As a guide question, what have you noticed to the values of h and k coming from the standard equation from the two previous examples? Notice that if the given equation has binomials of the form x plus h and y plus k, we will get the negative values for the values of h and k. What I am talking about is, for example, we will need to identify the center of the given equation x minus 10 quantity squared plus y plus 8 quantity squared is equal to 49. We can simply get the additive inverse of h and k without solving by just merely looking on our equation. And therefore, if it is negative 10 on the standard equation and positive 8 on the standard equation, when I am talking about the additive inverse, mga anak, it will say that, therefore, the center of the circle is at 10, negative 8. From negative 10 inside the equation, get the additive inverse, it will become positive 10. And from positive 10, it will become negative 8. And you just get the square root of whatever the value of r squared on the right side. Again, r squared is equal to 49. Just get the square root. And r is equal to 7. Okay? So that's your example number 1. There's a shortcut and there is a long method. Again, I will leave you this message. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember, and involve me and I learn. May we have a fun and productive learning session ahead. Welcome to Pre-Calculus. See you on our next video presentation.